Okay, this lesson is going to be focusing on telling elapsed time using a Tchart. Get your pencil, the paper that you brought home with you, and work with me. This is going to be a guided lesson for the first two problems. So let's begin. Let's read. Camille enjoys tailgating before LSU football games. She and her family left her house last Friday at 11:20. I'm going to underline that. That's what time they leave. Hold on. There you go. At 11:20 and tailgated until they went into the stadium at 5:52. How long did Camille and her family tailgate? So we're going to start with getting our information out of the text and onto our paper so we can kind of show where we are. We know we're going to start at 11:20 and we know we're going to end at 5:52, which is kind of a weird time, but I wanted to show you how to tell time when you're not just dealing with, fives and tens. So here we go. Now, we're going to make a T-chart, which means you're going to make a chart that looks like a big letter T, right? And this is we're going to start with our hours chart. So go ahead and make your chart like I'm doing. We're only going to worry about the hours. We're not worried about the minutes yet. So let's start with the hours, which is at 11:20. Now, we're going to count hours, which means our minutes are not going to change. So 1 hour from 11:20 is going to be, good, 12:20. Now, I need to count how many hours have passed. I'm not counting the 11:20 at all because that's when we started. No time had passed. Really, I'm counting the time in between 11:20 and 12:20, and that was 1 hour. So really, I have a 0 here. No time passed at 11:20, and now 1 hour has passed. But I'm going to keep going. I have to keep going until I get as far as I can. So what's after 12:20? That's going to be 1:20, which will be 2 hours. And then it'll be 2:20. And then 3:20. I'm only counting hours. That's 4 hours. And then 4:20. 5 hours. 5:20. That's 6 hours. And then I could go to 6:20. But the problem is, and then we end it right here at 5:20. Now, the problem is that our end time is 5:52. So, if we go to 6:20, we would go past our end time. So, we're stopping now. So, we know that so far, the total time taken away, or she's been tailgating, is 6 hours. Now, we don't know how many minutes. So, we're going to come over here and we're going to make another chart, and this is just going to be for the minutes. It's another T-chart, and we're going to label this minutes. Now, we're going to start where we left off down here. That is our first time, which is going to be 5:20. And we know we have to stop at what time? 5:52 is where we stop. So we're going to count up until we get to 5:52. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. And whatever you're most comfortable, how you're counting is what you're going to do. Because this is at a 20, I'm going to count by tens. So I'm going to say in 10 minutes, it'll be 5:30. And then I'm going to count another 10 minutes. And that is going to be 5:40. And then I'm going to count another 10 minutes, which is 5:50. And I can't go another 10 minutes, but 5:50 to 5:52 is 2 minutes. Now, this chart's a little different from the 1 over hours. On the 1 over hours, we counted up, we added as we were going. At the minutes, we didn't. We just recorded how many minutes passed, and now we have to add them all up. So we have 10, 20, 30 plus 2, 32. So we know that the elapsed time, or the time that Camille was tailgating, was 6 hours and 32 minutes, which is quite a long time. And that is how we found elapsed time using a T-chart. Okay, moving on to the next problem. Mike spends 40 minutes exercising each night. He wants to watch Discovery at 6:30. At what time should he start exercising so he'll be finished at 6:30? This problem is a little bit different. This problem doesn't give us our start time. We don't know what our start time is. We do know what our end time is. We know our end time is 6:30, right? But we also know that the time that has passed, our elapsed time, is 40 minutes. So what we need to do is we're going to make another T-chart, but this time our T-chart is going to be a little bit different, and we're going to kind of go backwards. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. You can make it knowing that your numbers are going backwards and go down with the T-chart, or you can start at the bottom and go up on the T-chart. I know a lot of people who like to do the bottom and go up, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start down here because this is our end time, right? Right? And we're going to get to our start time, which will be hopefully up here somewhere. We don't have any hours, so this is just going to be minutes. So we don't even have to worry about the hours. This is just going to be minutes. And now I have to go back. How many minutes? I have to go back 40. Okay, there's a couple of different ways to do this. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. The first group is to take 40, and I'm going to have to break it up into 10-minute intervals. How many 10s go into 40? We have 10, 20, 30, and then 40. There's 40 minutes right there. Now, 6:30, what's 10 minutes before 6:30? It'll be 6:20. What's 10 minutes before that? 6:10. What's 10 minutes before that? That'll be 6 o'clock. And what's 10 minutes before that? Now, before 6 o'clock, we know it's the hour before, which is 5. All right, we know there's 60 minutes in an hour. So to get from 60, right, which is an hour, which would be o'clock, will be 10 minutes before that. That would be 50, so it's 5:50. So Sam would need to start watching Discovery Channel at 5:50. Now that's a lot of steps. Some people will do a chart a little bit differently. If you like this chart and you're not finished, go ahead and pause now, and I'll show you a different way. Some people are ready for another step, so I'm going to show you that next. So I'm going to start erasing. Okay, so I'm going to erase my chart, and I'm going to do something a little different now. I'm still going to use the T-chart because I think they work, and they make us not make simple mistakes. So I want you using the T-chart because I know this is a way that really does work well. I'm going to make another T-chart, and I'm just going to go down this time. So it's 6:30, and I need to go back 40 minutes, right? If I start at 6:30, sorry, I wrote the wrong number. If I start at 6:30, I know that to get to 6 o'clock, because it's 0, it's 30 minutes. So I didn't need to count by tens here because I know that. Now, how many more minutes do I have to add to 30 minutes to get to 40? Well, 30 plus, hopefully you said 10, will be 40. So this equals 40 minutes, which means if I go back 10 more from 6 o'clock, it's 5:50. Same answer, really doing the same thing. I'm just adding my minutes a little bit differently. Okay, you're going to go now and practice 2 more problems on your own using the T-chart method. There is additional videos on this on Blackboard. So if you feel like you need a little bit more, you can go to Blackboard and watch some more. If not, go ahead, get started, and I will see you in class tomorrow.